along tonight. This is the third of our seminars this week, second of our seminars this week on financing to renovate or consolidate debt. At Aussie Lutwyche we work for Alan and Vigh Taylor. They are both fully accredited with the MFAA and have been in this industry for nearly 10 years now. They have had this store for about 5 years and have now got another franchise in Paddington which has been open about 18 months. They certainly help customers with quick home loan health checks and also to ensure that we set you up in the right ways that you achieve your goals. So we enjoy working for them and it's a good team to be a part of. Now tonight we're in for a treat as we have the expertise of professionals who are in their fields, the top of the tree. So without further ado, I'd like you to make our first guest welcome. He's a man who has over 11 years experience in the financial planning industry, with extensive experience has held roles as a senior tariff planner and research officer with leading Australian financial planning groups, as well as running his own business. Please join me in welcoming Vigh from Aspire Strategic Retirement Specialists.
I'll jump over there, or what's his?
Anywhere you like, your name in front.
It's a blue, I'll look here. You guys look over there. Cool. Pretty much before we do anything, we've got to put up a disclaimer, just saying that what we're giving you now is basically just general information. You can't act on it once we get to seats. So you can move on that. We got that. Okay, just basically, just to start with, just telling you what is financial planning. Well, it's basically all about just building wealth. So creating wealth for yourself now and into retirement. It's about enjoying life and it's also giving financial security to yourself and your family. The main focus tonight is basically going to be on risk insurance. I just think that it fits best with the topic of consolidating finance, that sort of stuff. So let's move on to the next slide. So basically, personal risk insurance, it's wealth creation and gearing strategies. They rely on basically income to repay debt. So basically the first thing we're going to look at is basically just insurance, and what it is saying that your ability to earn income is the most important thing to you. If you don't have your income, you can't go anywhere basically. So the whole thing is that you should try to protect this sort of income. So basically proper insurance will ensure that any tragedies that happen will be protected. I'm going to just go through an overview of the different types of insurances that are available to you, and then we'll go on from there. So the first thing we're going to talk about is basically income protection and business expenses. I think this is the most important insurance that people should have. Basically your income is your biggest asset. If you don't have your income, basically you're not going to get anywhere. So I think this is really, really important and people should really look at putting this in place. Basically an income protection policy will basically protect 75% of your income if you become sick or hurt. And basically after a waiting period of usually 30 days. The next one is basically business expenses. This is more for self-employed people, basically that have fixed costs such as rent, those sort of things. This sort of insurance will cover those expenses in the event that something does happen to them and the principal of the business can't work. Okay, so the next type of insurance we're going to go through is basically term life and total and permanent disablement. Basically it provides a lump sum in the event of death or total and permanent disablement. Total and permanent disablement basically means that you're unable to basically do your job for an extended period of time. When you're actually looking at putting into place insurance, we always say that number one thing that you should at least cover is your debts. So before anything else, if something goes wrong tomorrow, you've always got basically this insurance. Should something happen to you, so that your family's not basically left with the debt. You should also think about covering other things such as children's education expenses, providing some emergency income for the family in the event that they need it, funeral costs, possibly future medical expense costs, other debts, basically your deductible debts or your normal debts, and then debt. The next insurance is basically trauma and critical illness. This basically provides a lump sum in the event that you suffer a medical event such as cancer, stroke or a heart attack. But basically, things that we should cover are basically potential costs that are associated with that type of event. So the medical expenses, those sort of things. You should also look at providing recovery income. So we usually say maybe providing a family with like 2 years worth of income, just to basically let the family recover from you having a stroke, a heart attack or something like that. And also some people like to cover their mortgage, so in the event that they have a stroke or a heart attack or something like that, they've got basically insurance there that will cover it, and the people don't have to worry about doing it anymore. Okay, now financing insurance. There's a couple of ways of financing insurance. The first way is basically just through a cash flow. Things like income protection and business expenses policies, they're tax deductible, which makes them cost a lot cheaper for you. If you're finding that it's hard to fund them basically through cash flow, well, the other option is through your superannuation fund. So these days you can actually get a life insurance policy, a TPD policy, and also a income protection policy through your superannuation fund, which is really, really good, and it will cover you right to the age of 65, which is great. Just a couple of other things I want to touch on are just some other things you should think about. When should you repay debt? So it's a question that people think, you know, should you keep on just accumulating it? Should you do it now or should you do it in retirement? I think if you wait to retirement to the age of 60, basically you pull out your super and pay it out. It's tax free, so you don't basically pay any tax on it after the age of 60 these days. Should you convert your loans to interest only? That's another thing. If you're finding that cash flow is a bit hard to do that sort of thing, it also works quite well with basically investment properties, those sort of things. You're getting a tax deduction for that. And then basically, should you take on more deductible debt as you pay off non-deductible debt? That's another thing to think about. And basically, just also wills, enduring powers of attorneys, and basically non-aid beneficiary. So making sure that your assets are protected based on if something happens to you, making sure that the actual assets go to the people you intend them to, and that if you can't make decisions for yourself, that someone's there to trust actually make it for you. So that's pretty much it. It's just a very brief overview. Didn't have a lot of time, so I just thought I'd just put that in there. A lot of people aren't really aware of all the insurances that are there. So have anyone got any questions or anything like that at the moment? Thank you.
Stephen, thanks for that.
It's all right.
Ladies and gentlemen, our second guest speaker is a man who has extensive experience in the construction and building design industry, having helped hundreds of people with their renovations, extensions and new home projects. He offers the discerning homeowner and investor a fresh and affordable approach from design to completion of the project. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Anthony Trevor from Synergy Design and Drafting.
Tool over here, just so I can know what I'm talking about when I'm talking again. Well, thanks, Phil. My name's Anthony Trevor. I'm from Synergy Design and Drafting. We're a local design company just down here at the Grange. But we have projects far and wide throughout the state. But our main focus for our clients is renovations, extensions and new homes. We work in the residential design industry. I have been in the residential design industry for the last 8 years. I've been working with all different companies, and in 2009 I saw there was a position in the marketplace that we can go out there and offer people affordable building design and also getting you into the construction, helping you through that process and making it easy for you, making it understandable for you and getting you involved in that process, so it's a lot less stress, it's easy to understand. We've got our 5-stage program that we set out, which is quite easy for you to follow. Okay, we're members of the BDAQ, we're also members of the HIA associations. Now, most of you probably know the HIA, which is the Housing Industry Association. They're a national group. They are absolutely fantastic association to be with, because we keep getting updated on the latest trends and all the new materials that's coming through. Also with the BDAQ is the local association in Queensland and the Northern Territory. And we've got to perform to a code of ethics if we want to join with those guys. So basically, we've got to be good boys and girls and take you down the track, be responsible for what we do. Basically what we say in our business is we're just not going to say yes to win a design job or to win a renovation project from you simply because we can see it as it's going to pay the mortgage for the next month. So we look at the project from the start of that project with you, help you understand your limitations, but also to explaining you through budgets, what you're going to achieve with that budget, what's best to be spent.